Hi viewers, this is the first module in object-oriented programming. This session give you the fundamentals about object-oriented programming. The first one, the definition about object-oriented programming. The definition here is OOP is a computer programming paradigm based on the concepts of classes and objects. That means OOP is having the two kind of concepts. One is classes and objects, and OOP structures the given program into simple reusable pieces of code in the form of blueprints or template or prototype. Okay, so the object oriented programming is used to structure the given program into small pieces of modules. The class is called a blueprint, which is used for creating an object. Object in the sense instance of a class. Instance of a class. So which is specific data structure representation. Already we know different kind of data structures and also definition for data structure. Definition is in the sense arranging a given data in some order by using different kind of data structures like array, queue, stack, heap, etc. So here the object is using that kind of data structure representation. The object is having data and functions, right? So data will be represented in the form of variables or data field. Okay, so each variable is having unique attributes and also behavior. Like that, the function is designed in the form of methods. Function is designed in the form of methods. For example, a person is an object. Person is an object. How can we define this? For example, I will show you. Here, I will take one sample program. For example, the class name public class human open curly braces. Here I am defining the method public static void behavior person behavior open braces. Here I am passing what are the attributes we are using. Look at here, height, gender, age. So I am using that attributes integer, height, integer, age, then string, gender. I can assign the value height equal to 165 centimeter, age equal to 40. Right? If age equal to 40, I mean less than or equal to 40, then we can print system.out.println younger, active, otherwise active, behavior is active. Else system.out.println println inactive. Okay, inactive. So now I closed the method. Now I am calling public static void main string array args. Open braces. I am defining the object. What is the object? Object is here person. What is the class name? Class name is here. Class name is here human. Look at here. I use the class name human. So I am defining the object for the class human. Human person is the object. New human. Semicolon. Now I am calling that method. Person is the object. Dot. What is the method name? Method name is here p underscore b. P underscore b. So person dot p underscore b. I am calling. Then over. Okay. Right. So here I am defining object for the class human. So the attributes are having the values. Attributes are height, gender, age. Each attribute is having its own value. The behavior is defined here. If age is less than or equal to 40, active. Else it will be inactive. So here the class is having object, right? The example is human is the class. Human is the class which is having the object person. The person is an object, right, which defines the behavior and also variables. Okay, so variables here having the values, behavior is having the defined by the method. Right, that is what the introduction about object. Right, the object oriented programming languages, here many programming languages are there. Here I have given Java, JavaScript, C++ and Python. Okay, then difference between structure oriented programming and object oriented programming. So what is the structure oriented programming? So here the structure oriented programming is mainly focuses on logics and functions. Logics and functions. Logic, for example, I want to add two numbers. So here the one of the programming language, structure oriented programming language is C programming language. So I am writing one program here, void main open braces integer a equal to 10, b equal to 15, semicolon. I am using the function add here, passing the values a comma b. Main function is over. Now I am defining user defined function void add integer x comma integer y, open curly braces. Now here I am defining one local variable integer z, then z equal to x plus y, then printf percentage d comma the variable z. That's it. So here you look at that. Important thing is here, this is the main function. The execution starts here. Then next statement it will execute integer a equal to 10, b equal to 15. Then it will execute add of a comma b. Once add of a comma b is executed, automatically the control will pass over here. Okay, so it starts to execute this line. Then it will execute this one, then this one. It's over now. If once over, control again go back to here. Control again go back to here. Next line to the add of a comma. So here the first line is executed void main, second line integer, this one, third one, then fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one. Again eighth one, it will come here. For example, here get ch will be there, one of the statement after a comma b. So it will be eighth one. Get ch will be the eighth one. So the instructions, number of statements which are executed one after the another in serial manner. Okay, the structure oriented program will execute the given statements in the program one by one in serial manner. Okay, that's why it is called structure oriented programming. And so it is executing the one by one. There is no usage of go to statement. So go to statement cannot be used here. Go to statement cannot be used here. So here, for example, we will take this one. Here I am having a equal to c plus d. Then I am having go to L. Here I am having a equal to d equal to m plus n. Then y equal to u plus w b. Then L here I am using x equal to y plus z. Look at here, I am using the go to statement, right? Once it is executed, then go to L. So automatically this will come to this line. So these two lines are skipped. That means jumped. Okay, go to L. So this line will execute. So this kind of functions cannot be used in the structure oriented programming. This kind of go to method or go to statement cannot be used in the structure oriented programming, right? So all the statement have to execute one by one in structured manner. That is the structure oriented programming, right? I hope you understand though these 2 points. Then it is focuses on functions and logics, which is working on the given data. Example for structure oriented programming languages: C, COBOL, Pascal, etc. The disadvantages are here, which is not supporting the encapsulation. There is the possibility of code repetition, and also one more concept, data hiding, which is also not supported by the structure oriented programming. And one more thing is which is difficult to find the error and replace the error. That means debugging, difficult to debugging. Then what is the purpose of object oriented programming? Object oriented programming is mainly focusing on objects and classes. Already we know, right? Class is used to create the object. So object is instance of your class, right? So which is focusing on structure and behavior of the information system. So this object is having the a state and behavior. State and behavior. So here the class is class or object, right? So the OOPS is focusing on both state and behavior of the information system. So which converting the bigger program into smaller modules. That smaller modules will have the data and process, right? So which is supporting the data abstraction and data encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, data binding, message passing. So these are all OOP concepts. These are all OOP concepts which are not supported by the structure oriented programming, and which is easy to debug. Right? So example for some of the programming languages: Smalltalk, Java, C#, right? Next, what is the object? The object is here a thing in real world. So here this statement is dealing about real world object. Regularly what we are dealing with objects. So a thing, a product, right? A thing or a product in a real world, that can be physical product or conceptual product or conceptual thing. Physical thing or conceptual thing. Like that, an object in object oriented programming also can be physical or conceptual. Please be attention here. In real world, we are having the object. That object may be a product or thing that can be either physical product or conceptual product. Physical thing or conceptual thing. Like that, object in object oriented programming, that means in software programming, right? The object may be physical or conceptual. Physical or conceptual. Now, what is the difference between physical object and conceptual object? The conceptual objects are intangible, not tangible. That means we cannot touch it. We cannot touch by our fingers. We cannot touch by our fingers. But in real world, physical objects are touchable. We can touch the products by our hand or fingers. Okay, that is the thing. Physical objects. For example, you can take any mouse, laptop, cell phone. These are all physical objects. Cell phone, laptop, mouse, pen, etc. But when you are looking into the college is the conceptual object. There is the concept college, but we cannot touch it. College is having admission office, classrooms, principal office, registers. These are all available inside the college concept, but the classroom, this is physical, right? So here benches, physical object. I mean, what you call the principal, faculty, physical object, but college is not a physical object. This is conceptual object. Like that, software, Android, right? You cannot touch the Android. That is computer program. You can use it, you can view it, but you cannot touch it. You cannot touch it. You cannot touch it. You cannot take by our hand. Okay, you cannot take by your hand. So that is the thing. So conceptual objects may not have a equivalent real world physical objects. Okay, for example, one more example: stack in a object. I mean stack in a program. Stack object in a program. Here the object contains state and behavior. The state is determined by the value determined by the value, because state is represented by the variables. State is represented by the variables. So variables always will have some value. Okay, for example, a equal to 10. So the variable state is determined by the value. Okay, and behavior is determined by its operations. For example, I told you person's behavior is determined by its operations. Okay, how we are calling he is active, how we are calling he is inactive. Okay, so that will be determined by the member functions. Another name is methods. Member functions are methods. How class is defined? How class is defined here? Look at this. The class is a template which is used in OOPS languages to enable the creation of object. Also, another name of the blueprint is template prototype. Template or prototype. Here the class is defined the members. Okay, two members of the class are variables and methods. Variables are called member variables, methods are called member methods. The class is providing initial values for the object state. Okay, initial values for the object state and implementations of the object's behavior. Implementations of the object's behavior. So behavior is determined by the member functions. Object's state is determined by the member variable. So this is the representation of variable declaration and method definition inside the class. The variable describes attributes of an object. For example, there is the three kind of variables: instance variable, static variable, a final variable, local variable. So different kind of variables are there. Like that, method, instance methods, static methods to handle the behavior of an object. For example, look at here. I have given the class name is COVID patient. So these are all class variables: patient underscore ID, patient underscore name, consulting underscore fee. So these are all objects variable. These are all object variable defined inside the class. Defined inside the class. You look at here, defined inside the class. Okay. So these variables are called instance variables. These variables are called instance variables. And also this class is having three methods: set underscore ID, set underscore name, set underscore fee, and one more method is get patient underscore information. So here this method is assigning the value to the variable patient ID. This is assigning the value to the patient name. Here assigning the value to the consulting underscore fee. So the attributes, okay, the state of the object, the state of the object variable, state of the object variable patient name, patient underscore ID, consulting underscore fee are determined by the value of properties. Value of properties. Okay, the methods are used to determine the behavior of the object. Behavior of the object. Okay. Then how can we represent the variables? Look at here. I have given the public class name fee. Then this is the variable declared inside the class. So here, which is instance variable declared inside the class. Then the method deposit defined as a public static integer deposit. So this four statements available inside the deposit method. The variable d is declared inside the method deposit. So this variable cannot be used another methods. That's why this variable is called local variable to the method deposit, right? This d is local variable to the method deposit, right? We cannot use this variable outside of this method. Okay, scope of this variable is only inside the deposit method. Then one more method is defined static integer withdrawal. Here we are passing parameter integer a. We are declaring the variable, but that variable is passing as a parameter to the method withdrawal. Okay, so here we are defining one statement, then we are returning the variable, right? So here you look at that we have used different kind of variables. One is instance variable balance. Another one is declared one new variable only inside the method. So it is called local variable. Then declared a new variable integer a, but which is passing as an argument. So which is called parameter or argument. Then this is not having any argument. Okay, just which is printing the balance. Here you look at that one of the difference here, the balance is defined inside the class, not inside any method. So this balance can be used here, this balance can be used here, this balance can be used here also. So which is common. Instance variable is shared by all the methods. Look at that, this is the important concept. Instance variable shared by all methods, shared by all methods. So only one variable which is shared by all methods. Okay, then another one is method. Method is defined as object's behavior. Method is defined as an object's behavior. That means action is applied to the given object, which is entirely related to any one of the class or object. For example, here in previous example we have taken person is an object. Here we are taking line is an object. Okay, then its behavior is roaring, walking, running. So here again you can define your you can write your code public class line is an animal class, open braces. Then you can define the method for to define the behavior roaring, to define the behavior walking, to define the behavior running. So first behavior walking. So I am defining the method public void. The method I am using lion underscore roaring. Then I am open braces here system.out.println lion roars. Close. I am closing the method. Then second method public void. What is the second method? Walk. So lion underscore walk. Open braces system.out.println lion box, right? Like that, if I want, so here I am closing the second method line box. Like that, you can write for the running also. Now I have to define the object. Okay, object is here line. So public static void main string args open braces. What is the class name? Animal. So animal class is defining the object lion. This is new object for the class animal. Then I am calling the each and every method. Okay, each and every method. So here object is lion dot, what is the method name? L underscore r. This method L underscore r. Okay, then second method L underscore w. Okay, the second method, look at here, the second method L underscore w. So lion is the object name, this object name L underscore, closing the main method and closing the class. Okay, this braces. So here the entire concept is the class is having objects and methods. Class is having objects and methods. Object is here lion, methods are L underscore or L underscore w. So behavior of the object is defined by the methods. Okay, values are used to define the variables. Okay, that's the thing. So with this I will conclude the today's session. Thank you.